42 seconds, man.
Just checking that out there. Hold on a second. Oh, where's the tech guy when you need the tech guy? Hey, where is he? It's Wednesday, 98.9 Northwest FM. Great having you company. Paul Curry, it's Paul, marketing tech guy. I got Mark Watt, co-host, sitting in the big room there as well. And also, we're going to introduce our guests shortly, Brad, Drew, and we'll get back to him shortly. But where is the tech guy when we need you? Where are you, mate? Because I tell you what, we've got the wrong video there. So start off there, Marcus. Okay,
I tell you what, mate, for a show that's got the tech guy and we advertise tech, every week we've got a tech problem. So I suppose that emphasizes the importance of tech. You've got to get tech right, and we're showing people how you get tech wrong.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, if you just joined us, thanks for coming on to the show, watching us live here at the stream on Facebook and also at 98.9 Northwest FM. My name, again, is Paul. It's a discussion between three blokes in the podcast form, radio show, talking everything community, sports, current and controversial news, and of course tech. But guess what? Because tonight's the show back from Larapinta Trek. The boys are back, and there's a telltale adventures of the Larapinta Track. I've been told by our guests to keep things at a very, very low. In other words, what stays at Larapinta, like what happened, what stays, right? So, hey, big welcome and a big thanks for Drew for joining us this evening, mate. Mentor, big brothers, big sisters. Participant and obviously a tracker himself. Welcome, Drew, to the show tonight.
No worries, Paul. Thanks very much for the intro. And I guess I best better start by giving you guys a thumbs up. It was a great intro, so I better join the club. So thumbs up, boys.
Well, the other thing, Drew, Brad, it's great to have you on the show, Brad. We've got to acknowledge we had four amazing women on the trek with us. And they really led the way the whole time. So thanks to them. And we should have had one of them on the show tonight, but I'm sure they're watching. So I would still want to acknowledge them. They were amazing and really did help the whole thing. And Brad, I'm here. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be here after the trek. And here I am. I'm actually here alive. Some people didn't think I might come back alive, but I did. So there you go. That's one achievement, isn't it, Brad?
Mate, you made it. And from day one, you led from the front, and for the full trek, let me tell you, this guy here, he led from the front all the way, and wherever Mark was going, we were following, because if we thought to ourselves, well, if Mark can do it, then we have to do it. And I'm telling you now, it was great leadership. And yes, Mark, just acknowledging the girls that came along to the trek as well. They were absolutely awesome, and I think it was 3/4 of the population of Tumut came to the trek, because Tumut would have been very, very quiet without the girls there. And obviously the best caramel slices come out of Tumut. We learnt that on the trek, didn't we, Mark?
Tell you what, the best stuff comes out of Tumut, mate. We just put Tumut on the map, I'll tell you. And, well, they really gave us an intro to Tumut, and it's an amazing program. Big brothers, big sisters, Tumut are really rocking, aren't they? And I tell you what, they're led by Emma Peacock, and we got to understand the Peacock family. The whole, most of the family were there, or part of the family were there, and so it was quite a good insight, eh?
And led by Madam Mayor Kerry.
That's right. Nice. Yes. Okay. She added a lot of humour to the whole thing. And if you're listening, say good day. And Janine, it's great to have you here, and thanks for saying that. It was great, and we couldn't have done it without the support of people like you. We had a lot of people donating, supporting us, sending us wishes, and a lot of people told me to go to the doctors before going on the track. Some people checked my life insurance, all this sort of stuff. But there you go. We did it, Brad.
Amazing effort.
We did.
Amazing.
We did it.
So let me jump in there. Yeah, sorry, mate. Let me jump in there for a minute, Brad, because you mentioned the great or the best caramel slice, was it? Is there something like this that Mark got into? Was that a nice sort of mixed bevy of donuts and burgers and
Well,
chips?
that's what I've got into since the track. I've sort of let myself go a bit. I actually had pizza last night, Brad. I thought, well, I deserve a bit of pizza,
mate.
so I had pizza last night.
I think we all deserve a little treat after what we put our bodies through, Mark. Absolutely.
So, Paul, let's just get to know Brad a bit. I mean, you did the trek, but what's your backstory? Why are we on the trek? What are you trying to do? Tell us a little about who Brad is.
So, well, Brad's a husband and a dad to two great kids, and I guess around mental health and challenges, my son's been very challenged throughout his life with that, and as a family, we've got a big interest in that area of our life, and I think that's probably what brought me to Big Brother Big Sister, is that not everyone is as fortunate as others in their journey in life, and we know that there's a lot of youth in our community that for whatever reasons they don't have a mentor or a father figure and or a mother figure in their life, and they're looking for a bit of support, a bit of encouragement, a bit of empathy, a bit of listening, bit of fun as well. A lot of these children have had different challenges. They've come from broken relationships. They've come from threatening places. They've had issues with their health. And as children, no one wants any child to have those sort of things brought upon them. And I think that's what drew me to Big Brother Big Sister. Having experienced a few challenges within our family with my son and his health issues and a few other traumatic experiences, I think it gave me a great life experience to be able to understand some of the challenges within the community. And I guess the other thing is just to chip in and do your bit. I mean, what I do as a mentor with my young fella is it's just part of the jigsaw puzzle. And if we can impact a young person's life in a positive way and assist them in growing and developing their skills, building confidence, having a laugh, awesome. Educating them, then I think, then you're better for it. And, and we do it just because we want to be part of that community, and we want to be able to help people. And that's what Big Brother Big Sister is all about to me as a mentor. And I certainly saw that on the trek when I met the other 10 people that I'd never met before. And we all came together for a common goal to be able to raise some funds so that the programs right throughout Victoria and New South Wales would be able to continue, and would be able to continue to add value to these young people in our community, because that's what it's about. It's about adding value to the younger generation in our life, that for whatever reasons they are, then there's no right, wrong or indifferent. There just are reasons, for whatever reasons they are, haven't had the opportunity that some of us have had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good point. Hey, Paul, what do you think, mate?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're on that, Brad. It's just it's a life-changing moment, isn't it? Being able to impact and be there for someone. Amazing.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was interesting. I picked up on social media, on Facebook. Actually, my wife picked it out. And she said, "Hey, nice. Why don't you have a look at this?" And believe it or not, I had a mate up in Queensland that was doing something similar up there with youth, and he used to share some stories with me about some of the stuff he did with his young fella, and this is going back years. And so, yeah, that was where it all started. So I made an inquiry with our coordinator down in Ballarat here in Victoria, Jodie Downey, who's a magnificent. Okay, and we caught up, and we went through the process of being interviewed and all the appropriate checks that must take place when you're dealing with youth and children in your community. And that took about 6 months. It wasn't something that happens overnight, but again, you've got to look at the bigger picture and the outcome. And, I really wanted to be part of it. So, yeah, I hung in there and we went through the process. There were a number of interviews in person, out at the home, had to meet my wife, Gillian, and do all those checks. So, and then on the other side of the coin, Jody was then looking for someone that would, be matched up similar to myself. And I guess, again, my son had some serious medical problems in his journey. He'd suffered cancer. The young fellow that I'm now mentoring has had some serious medical issues as well. So we had something in common there that we could fall back on. He loves animals. We've got horses and dogs and cats and fish and birds. We have a little property just out of Ballarat. So there's a good space there to share some quality time outdoors. And he loves the outdoors. And we live right on the doorstep of the Enfield State Forest. So we get to go walking. Sometimes when we catch up, we grab our dogs and, off we go into the bush and, we'll just walk for sometimes hours and just chat along. And sometimes it's just that freedom of space that they need, the young mentors. And
it's amazing, mate, because, mentoring is not that complicated, isn't it? And I keep hearing stories, especially of a few male mentors that we've had lately, where they're just taking their young boy out and doing normal things, and those normal things with commitment and time is just changing lives. So it's not like you're doing anything too abnormal, not like it's a big thing, something that anyone could do. It's just giving up your time and being committed over a long period of time. It's life changing. And you've probably seen with your young boy, Brad, his life being impacted and changed, but it's also probably helping you as well.
Oh, I think, the way I've approached it is, what did I do with my son? Well, let's just do it with, my young mate Jackson. Let's just go out and, find out what his interests are. We've been through art galleries, we've walked lakes, we've fed ducks. We have a 10-pin polling competition where I'm coming second at the moment. Every now and then we play 10-pin bowls, and he's quite good at that. So that's great. It's a social activity. As I said, we've got the horses, so he'll come up with me some days and we'll feed all the horses, and he gets to meet them and, spend time with them. And then again in nature. So that's really good. And then, of course, he's now of the age where he's got his learners. So we've been doing driving lessons as well. So he's picking up a hell of a lot of skills without him even knowing it. And just before we went on the trek, Mark, I think I may have shared this story with you, but we went to promote the trek at Rotary here in Ballarat. And I said to Jackson, who has an interest in wanting to be an actor, and he's done a couple of little acting jobs, which again is building his confidence and his social network. And I said, look, mate, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to get in front of, some people and, just speak naturally about your experiences with me and how it's impacted you. And, again, it's just that learning, that experience, speaking in front of an audience. So he said yes. So we went along to Rotary, and Jody did a fantastic PowerPoint presentation, and then they invited both of us up onto the stage. And I basically handed the mic over to Jackson because he was the main event. He's the reason that we're all where we are. And after he spoke, everyone in the room came up and shook his hand and just said what a fantastic job he did. And the smile on his face from ear to ear, it just said everything. So I think, you keep it simple. You're feeling out each other, I think, for the first 3 or 4 weeks, as we did, just getting to know each other and different characteristics. And everyone's a little bit apprehensive. But, for me, it was about just bringing my tone down a little bit when I was speaking to him, because I am known to be quite a loud person. That's just my natural way of being. But once I lowered my tone down a bit and I just started to mirror his language and his voice and his body language, there was a real connection. And I still remember that day to this day. We were driving along in the car and you hear about the light bulb moment. And it was one of those light bulb moments. The week before, I'd been chatting about my son, and I was just sharing a little bit with him about my son. And a week later, we're driving along, and then just out of nowhere, he turned to me and he said, "How's your son going, Brad?" And it was at that moment then that I felt we had a real connection. I thought, wow, awesome. That's amazing.
That's great. Yeah. Now, Paul's interested in being a mentor, Brad. What are the qualities that he would have to be a mentor?
Oh, look, understanding, empathy, Discipline. You know, I know with Jackson, when I first met him, I said, look, I'm fairly disciplined on my times. If I say I'm going to be here at a certain time, I expect you up and out of bed and ready. So discipline, you know, it's about putting a bit of structure into their life as well, because they may not have had that.
Yep.
Having a really good ear, you know, listening, not necessarily speaking. You know, there'll be some times where we catch up where we don't say too much at all, but we just enjoy each other's company, and or he may just be sharing. Pardon me. So it's just a matter of having a good ear, and not necessarily trying to solve things for him, but just being there for him. Other than that, I think you just reflect back, you know, if you've had children in your life or grandchildren, or, you know, you've had a family member that's had children and you've spent time with them. You know, we quite often use the term now, Jackson and myself, what are we doing this weekend? Where are we hanging out? You know, he now hangs out with me. It's like pretty cool to hear a young bloke say, oh, what are we doing? Where are we hanging out? You know.
Well, I suppose the question is for you, Paul, is what do you reckon, mate? Do you think you got some of those qualities?
I think I could tick the box on a bit of that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Why not? Why not? Well, it's interesting you asked that question, Mark, and thanks, Brad, for, you know, just, you know, sharing that. That's really important. There's a couple of people we know that would love to get involved, but there's a little bit of apprehension because they don't know what to do. They don't know, you know, the impact, what that hour means, or what that's, you know, small time it means with sharing with someone.
So what I would suggest to them, Paul, is to, and I'm quite happy to take anyone's call, reach out. You know, reach out to a mentor that may be in their area or may not be. You know, we're only a phone call away. Or catch up and just sit down and have a chat with a person, and, you know, they can, pardon me, they can work through whatever those challenges or barriers may be for them. But all I can say is the experience for me personally, it just keeps growing, it keeps getting better, and I think it's just the reward of seeing growth within the person that you're mentoring, you know, and more importantly, it's, in a lot of cases, it's having that person that's reliable in their life that they can count on. Yeah, you know, absolutely. That they can count on. That's a big thing. You know, because previously, in some instances, they've been let down in life. You know, they've been let down not once, not twice, not 3 times, but a hell of a lot. For sure.
And you mentioned also
looking for
stability, but also a good ear. So listening and really taking notes.
Yeah, it's
just having that moment.
Absolutely. It's, as I said, if there are people out there tonight that are listening to this interview that are thinking about dabbling their toe in it, my suggestion is get out of the deep end of the pool and just jump in, because the experience is fantastic. You will grow as a person, and your mentor will also grow as a person. And there's no greater satisfaction in life than being able to impact someone's life in a positive way.
No, that's awesome, mate. 98.9 Northwest FM. It's Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy, minus the Tech Guy tonight. We're chatting with Brad Drew, mentor for Big Brothers Big Sisters, participant in the I'm going to call it the adventures of trekking at Larapinta. We're going to hear a lot more about that as we continue on with the show. Coming up at top 7 around 7 tonight, we're going to be joined by Milton Wild, Warren Hill, Marcus, and obviously Drew. We're going to find out a few more of the tales. Mark's got a major rant, 7:42. I'm concerned about this rant because I don't think. Well, I'm hoping Brad can help us out on that one. And we're going to eliminate the Tech Guys session this evening, so that's not going to happen. So coming back, but you know, thanks for joining us. We're really good in watching us on Facebook. There, got quite a few viewers there. Also 989. Jump over to the Facebook page and to YouTube. Check us out. Follow Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy. And we need a few more followers so we can stream live on the Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy. Brad, mate, it's just a dawn to me where I've met you. It was in Ballarat. It was at the Pig and Whistle session. So I did a volunteer on that day.
At the barbecue.
You and Jackson.
Oh,
barbecue.
Yes.
There you go. I was looking
at
this guy.
Yeah, you would have met Jackson as well, and that was another great experience.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I could talk all night, Paul. Trust me, I could talk all night on this.
Mate,
Now, look,
100%.
what I wanted to talk about is that a lot of people have been making good comments about your videos, mate. And someone said to me today, they nearly started crying when they heard you struggling up Mount Sondor. Now, it was a big struggle, let me tell you. Mount Sondor, incredible struggle. In fact, nearly mission impossible, I would say. But you sort of described it as you were going up Mount Sondor. What sort of helped you get up the mountain and overcome the challenges, mate?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know exactly where you're going, Mark, and I think I had mentioned it to you. I said to a few people because I came in late on this trek and I'd done no training at all, zero. Pardon me. So I was basically going to just go on mental toughness and pray. And I just thought to myself there prior to the trek, and it popped up through the trek. It honestly popped up through the trek, and yes. I think I spoke about it on one of my videos. Is I thought, you know, there will be a point. There will be a point on this trek where things get tough, and I may want to step up and give up. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this to raise funds for Big Brother, Big Sister, so the programs can continue, and then we continue to mentor people like Jackson. And then I thought about Jackson. And then I thought about Jackson's life and some of the challenges that he's had in his life. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to climb this mountain no matter what. If he can get through what he's got through, I can climb a bloody mountain for him. And that's what we did. And that's what got me through. Whenever the going got tough, I just thought not only of Jackson, but all of the other youth out there that are being mentored by all the great people at Big Brother, Big Sister. Because
it's such a great word, mate, because there's a lot of Jacksons out there that need help. And that's why it was fantastic getting 10 people to come with myself up to the mountain. And we raised over $30,000, Brad. So it was a great effort. And that's going to help more Jacksons of this world. So important.
Have a look at that.
Yeah, I actually saw that, believe it or not, Paul. A lot of people didn't think I was going to see this. A lot of people said, oh, you probably don't need to climb the mountain. But there I am. I saw that. That's my picture. And that's incredible, isn't it?
Well, that's the Big Brother, Big Sister sunrise. And that sun coming up over the horizon, that's all the youth that we look after. They're rising up through the sky, becoming greater people as they grow.
Now, Julio's got a question for us here. But, Brad, what happened on the trek stays on the trek. And Julio can't be here, but he's wondering whether anyone carried my stuff. Did I get an electric scooter? Well, the second thing is I couldn't find any electric scooters. I don't think a scooter would have got up that mountain.
No.
You needed to be a goat to get up the mountain. Now, did anyone carry my stuff for me? Well, I don't know whether we can answer that on radio because, as I said, what happened on the trek stayed on the trek. I could say I carried everyone's pack. I carried everyone's burdens without carrying much, if you get what I mean.
Well, I'll tell you what I can tell you. And this is that Mark carried each and every one of us every step of the way through that trek just by the way he went about it. That's what he did.
Wow. Thanks, mate.
Amazing.
Appreciate that, buddy. Put that photo back up there, Paul. I mean, it was pretty high sort of mountain. Like we're up in the clouds. That's how high we walked. We virtually walked up to the clouds, and and that we're sort of in line with the sun coming up. So it's a pretty high walk.
It was amazing, and let me just say that the guys that were guiding us through were fantastic. And I now understand, Mark, why we left at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, because I reckon if we had seen that mountain in the daylight, we may not have made it.
And I think Janine's right, mate. That's why my feet are so sore, because I climbed that mountain up to the sky. And it was actually, I don't know about you, Brad, but going down going up was horrific. But going down, that's what killed my feet.
Oh, I think Milton's going down just ripped my calves off the bone.
Is that right? I mean, it just, I guess, unless you're participating, you don't really get to, sense the real understanding of what's going on. Because I know we heard Mark's rant for months. Oh, I've got to do this trek. I can't do it. I've got to train. he struggled with training because he spent a lot more time doing, I'll just bring this up, a lot more time doing this sort of thing, which is a bit concerning. You know what I mean? And getting into the good stuff, it's like, we wanted you to get some good stuff there, Marcus, but he came back. This was his response to us, Brad. He came back to us.
He was all fired up.
He was all fired up, ready to go.
Ready to go.
But to hear about it and to, acknowledge the fact that you guys, it was a struggle, but you've come back, landed on your 2 feet. I think it's pretty epic, mate. It's well done.
But,
really
I think,
it's amazing.
And I think the important thing, and look, it probably passed through everyone's mind at some point, but the important thing was to think of the cause and why were we doing this?
Exactly.
It was 3 days of a struggle and some pain and a few tears and a few aches and pains and all the rest of it. But, some of these kids have endured, far worse things than that. And you just go, you know what? We soldier on no matter what.
Yeah,
and look, I want to call out to everyone that supported us financially. It was fantastic to see the response. And I personally want to thank those that supported me. And I'm sure Brad wants to thank his supporters, but also the people that text and rang and wished us all the best and has encouraged us, even since we've come back, so it's been really, really good. And the good news, Brad, is we're going to go again next year, not Larapinta, but the Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We're going to try another track next year. And you never know, I might recommit, Brad. What do you reckon?
Well, we know the cause is worthy, so I don't think
Exactly.
there's any question in whether you should or you shouldn't. I think you'll be leading from the front again, and no doubt you'll drag everyone wherever you're going with you.
Exactly right. Well, hold on, guys, because don't go anywhere because there's a lot more coming up just in this hour. We've got our guests going to join us very soon, Milton Wild, Warren Hill, and also the awesome Brad. He's given us a bit of a testimony there, Marcus, with the 7 around 7. And we're talking that 7 things not to do on a Larapinta track with these boys. Shame we didn't get the girls in as well this evening, but there's a lot more. Please reach out to bigbrothersbigsisters.com.
And we want to hear from people. People can ask us questions. People can make comments, Paul. 100%. So we do want to hear from people tonight. It's going to have some interaction. We've heard from Milton and Janine and Julio, and we want to hear from others. Just put a message through on the Facebook page, and it'll come up here on the screen, and we'll be able to have a bit of a chat. It's good. Paul, just a quick question for you, mate.
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
You feeling tempted to join us next year, are you?
Oh, mate, I'm pretty busy, mate. Between all of the catering and all these different things that I'm doing, I just I think I can find the time.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, look, I think I'll have to give it a go.
Physically, you could do it, Paul. Is that holding you back?
What was that? Sorry, Mark. What was that?
Do you think you could physically do it, mate?
I think I could give it a go for sure. I love what Brad was saying though about it's there's such an important impact with young people. Why can't we do something to raise money and spread the word out there? So many other people use the forums to do things that perhaps aren't in line with where you're thinking, but I think something like this is really important. So look, where are you thinking of, Mark? Is that Glenroy?
We're thinking about going to Tasmania next year. We might be able to do it. Hey, I've got a bit of something personal. Now, while no one's listening, Brad, I've got something personal to ask you because Janine sort of asked us. She's put it out there. So I think personally, without people listening, I know my strategy here. I'm just wondering what your strategies were because, to be honest, and I don't want anyone to know this really, but doing the number 2s in the bush, then carrying some of the stuff back wasn't appealing to me at all. So I didn't do it. On the walks, I had to hold on, but I didn't do it. because I wanted to sit on a toilet seat. And no one brought that tent with me. I don't know whether you got a picture of the tent, Paul, but no one brought the tent with me. So, I held on. What was your strategy, mate?
Pretty much the same as yours, mate. Before and after, while we're at base camp, utilise the facilities. And if something was bobbling along on the track, well, it was just going to stay bobbling until we got back.
Yes, and that was a bit of a struggle climbing Mount Sondor because it was 16 kilometres, 48,000 steps, about 8 hours of walking. And unfortunately, I did need to go. But I thought, well, Mark, I'm totally exhausted. So trying to sit down and do the number 2 wasn't going to work. So I thought, no, I'll just hold on until I get back to camp. Now, let's just be honest about that. So I don't know what else. We'll have to check with Warren and Milton what their strategies were, but Brad and I had the same idea, and so we'll check those boys. They're coming on really now, aren't they, Paul? We're going to bring the other guys on.
We are just about to bring them in.
It'd be good to hear from you.
Sorry, mate. What was that?
I'm saying to our audience, it'd be great to hear from your questions and comments.
Exactly right.
As we go through the show. Get
behind us. We're going to go for a break shortly. A little bit of music whilst you do the introduce Wazza and Milton hanging back there. You're going to do talking footy.
We'll bring the boys in. We'll have a quick chat about the footy. And when you come back, we're going to go all Larapinta.
All Larapinta. Stick around. Don't go anywhere because there's lots more coming your way. As I say, get behind us. Follow us on Facebook, at Paul Marketing Tech Guy. Minus Tech Guy tonight. He'll be back next week. So there's no tech session, but I'm looking forward to hearing what happened. I want to know the telltale adventures of trekking the Larapinta track with the boys.
So Paul's going to leave the studio and bring in our two guests. So there'll be four of us here, and we'll have a bit of a chat about the footy. And then when Paul comes back in about 3 minutes, we will hit the Larapinta trail again and relive some of those moments, Brad.
That's it. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's do this one here. We got Wazza and we have Milton here. There you go.
Right. And you're going to leave.
Hey guys, so good to see you.
Off screen, Paul. Yep. Hey guys, good to see you. Milton, Wild. We got Warren, Hill, Wazza, and Brad. Great to have you boys here. How are you going?
Awesome, mate. Always awesome. You know that. You met me.
Yep. Oh, that's good, mate. That's good. Milton, how are you going?
Pretty good, mate. Yourself?
Very good, very good. Still recovering, but wow, I tell you what, we're going to talk 7 in 7 when Paul comes back. But what I thought we'd do is just do a bit of an introduction. So, Warren, you were here last week and we talked a bit about track, but just to remind people that don't know who you are, who is Warren Hill?
I am I'm a executive account director with Trideca, digital engineering business. I'm the chair of the Australian Information Industry Association, ambassador for the British Chamber of Commerce, ambassador for Big Brother Big Sister, and single dad, amongst many other things.
Fantastic, mate. Well, great to have you here, and you're one of our key walkers. Milton, what about yourself? You got your Big Brother Big Sisters cap on, which is good. Great to see.
Yeah, I had to wear that. Tonight, guys, to just show my support. But what about me? I'm an old fart that unfortunately knows you guys and got roped into doing this. And I don't know. That's about it. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's all right, mate. Well, look, why don't we just quickly get a comment about how we found the trek? Warren, what's your reflections now? You're back home in your penthouse there, thinking about getting back to your old life again. What's your reflections?
I'm at work, Mark.
4 or 5 days.
Much work. Yeah, I've got so much work to catch up on that I haven't been able to get out of work since we got back. I've been locked in the office. So, no, look, I think it was really good. It was a nice, friendly stroll around the mountains, and it was good to get to know people. And I think we made some great friendships, and we had a lot of fun.
What was your personal highlight, mate?
Singing and annoying Milton with my singing.
Fantastic. All right, Milton, what's your reflections on the 5 days out there we had together?
Probably getting up Mount Sonder or Sonder? Sondor. And then seeing it on the way back and working out what we'd actually covered in the dark. Man, Brad said it earlier, I would not have done it had I seen it. There is no way I would have even entertained the thought. You would have been stupid to do it. And I was just blown away by the fact that we managed to do it. And you and I in particular, Mark, because I really didn't think we would make it. I was so impressed with you. And I don't reckon I could have done it without the support of all the other 10 people and the guys that were leading us, because they were fantastic as well.
Yeah, true. They were very good, and there was good support in the group. Brad, what's your reflections on the walk, mate?
I think it was just the people that did the work and the diversity, and hearing everyone's story. And I guess meeting the other side, the Casper side, if I could put it that way, the people that are behind the scenes doing all the hard work. Pardon me. And, I guess them coming together with a mentor so we could share some stories. I think that was a highlight, just to see both sides of the coin of big brother, big sister.
Yeah, no, it was good. And I tell you what, it was a great group of people that didn't know each other come together, and the friendships and the connections and the fun that was had was unbelievable. And I think that sort of helped us get through. And I know the singing and the chatter and the talks all helped me get through the time. And so I really enjoyed that. And Paul, you would have enjoyed all the singing on the track, mate. We sang some great songs.
What sort of songs were you singing there, Marcus, or the guys? What were you doing?
Well, just going to say, a couple of ones.
We were singing hymns and arias, the land of my fathers. We were singing Welsh anthems. We had a bit of Irish anthems.
Very nice.
At one point, it was Daryl Braithwaite broke out and a bit of horses.
Okay.
Horses,
yeah.
It was a very
It was like
mixed
our own
bag.
personal radio on the mountain.
It was. People made a request and off we went. So yeah, mostly Milton pulled his. See where he's got his hat on now. Every time we started singing, that beanie went down over his. They're pretty much like that. Yeah, everything he could do. You've never seen him move faster to get away from us when we were singing. Not his favourite thing on the hike.
Obviously, music's a bit like tofu to you, mate. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I can imagine. We did ask you, Warren, a couple of weeks back, what was your playlist. So it's great to see that you got out a bit of Welsh. But mate, you sure we didn't get Skyhawks coming out of Marcus? I mean, I'm sure Mark was playing a little bit of. No,
Mark was a bit focused, mate. Mark was focused.
He was focused on leading the team up the hill, right, Brad?
He was the first.
But someone did say something to me. They didn't think I was going to get up Mount Sondor, so I thought tonight we might hear from that person just to make a few comments about that.
They're not here, I don't think, Mark. I can tell you, and Milton has mentioned it earlier when we were in the back studio, Paul. But how those two got up that mountain, I do not know. It was phenomenal effort. The effort for them to get up there was next level. That's a big hill. It's 3,500 meters up. You're at altitude. There's not. You start to get that whole where am I and the lightheadedness, and we'd been walking because of Mark's great walking speed. We'd been walking for about 8 hours by the time we got up the top of the mountains. It seemed to take forever. We were supposed to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be on the mountain for 4 for a 7 o'clock sunrise. But after the first day, our friends in the crew decided we needed to be up at 1:30 to be on the mountain for 2 a.m. So it was a hike, that's for sure. But the boys made it. Milton only fell over once, which was pretty impressive, and and the other Paul almost only fell off the mountain once, so that was pretty good.
Big Paul,
He did tell you that he led us astray over a cliff, right? He did mention that on that walk up the mountain.
No, young Mark got to the 7 in 7 yet, but
okay, we'll get there.
So Paul, we might go to the 7 in 7, yeah.
Well, just before that, though, I want to ask a question before we go to the 7 and 7 because Janine asked it earlier, and I wanted Waz's response. Warren, how did you go to the doggy bags? Come on, mate. Is that part of your top 7?
Yeah, no, I didn't use mine, but I'm a bit more efficient than some of these boys. They were doing all sorts of squeezy things to hold themselves in. I don't even want to know what Mark was wearing under those shorts, but seemed to have an extra couple of layers in there. So there was something helping him up and down the hill. We only had one incident, not with us, but one person had a bit of a challenge with the doggy bags, but most people got through it pretty easily.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Well, I reckon it's the sticks that Mark bought, so I wouldn't mind getting that picture up there, Marcus, if you could send it to me. I guess that picture. That was a classic. You remember the sticks? The good old sticks?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I needed the sticks. The sticks are actually what saved me. Without those sticks, I would never have got up the mountain. So they were like another set of legs. So that was helpful.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, really excited. Paul, Mark, and the tech guy. We've got the 4 guys tonight. We have Milton, Wild, Warren Hill, Brad Drew, and Mark Watt. Stick around because it is time for top 7 around 7. Well, here we go, and really excited tonight because obviously the show is based around the telltale adventures of trekking Larapinta with the boys, with the gentlemen and the ladies, of course. But the top 7 around 7 things not to do on a Larapinta track. So how are we going to start that, Marcus? What's your first one? What's your top one thing you don't do on the Larapinta track?
Well, don't forget to go to the toilet before you start the trek. So I think that's really important that you go to the loo before you start walking.
Go to the loo? Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it comes after, though?
That's it.
Obviously
We've lost Brad too. Poor old Brad's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a big space and there's lots of places to hide, Paul.
True, I guess. It's probably true.
There's lots of trees. That helps a lot.
For Brad, if he does, just jump back onto the link if you can hear us, mate. Jump back on the link and you'll be able to get back in to see us. So, okay, go to the toilet before you start. All right. So, number 2 things not to do on a Larapinta track. Warren.
Follow Paul up the other Paul up the mountain, who's got double jointed ankles, and it's the most frightening thing to watch. Mr. Wobbles was his nickname. He literally wobbled his way for 50 odd kilometers through the Larapinta trek, and it was just a remarkable thing right up until he almost fell off the mountain when we got to the top of Zondor. That was the highlight for me. Don't follow him, and when he falls, catch him is a good option.
He's a runner, right? He's
a runner. He runs marathon. It's unbelievable what he does with that gait. It's incredible, right? You've no idea. I mean, I coach athletes, and I wouldn't go anywhere near him. No.
Did you think for a moment up when he hit the sort of its peak? Did you feel like I mean, obviously there's a oxygen level challenge. Any thoughts about? Well, oh my God, I might need a oxygen tank or
I think we were so relieved and elated to get there. With how long do we have left, Mark, before the? Did we cut it pretty fine? How many minutes?
Yeah, we got there with about 10 minutes to go before sunrise happened. So we were a little bit nervous about maybe 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So we got there.
3 minutes to go, Mark.
Yeah, we're only a little bit late.
Well,
that last kilometre up the hill, Warren, was a doozy, I'll tell you.
When the guide says, guys, we're going to have to move it a bit now, you're in trouble, because all we could see was this bloody great mountain in front of us and not very long left. So it was good. Yeah, that last piece was interesting.
Let's bring up some pictures while we're doing. So the top 7 and 7 things not to do on the Larapinta track. Milton, what was your number 1? So number 3. Here we go. This picture of the guys.
Number 3, mine would be, don't carry the water with you. Hydrate before you go up, because that made such a difference.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than carrying 4.5 liters of water on your back.
Okay.
When you work out,
all right.
Drink a liter half of it before you go.
Well, then you got to go to the toilet. Right?
That's the start. That's how we were looking.
Look how happy we were at the start. We hadn't started walking at that point.
Yeah.
So, Milton, you were really ambitious. You were just like, let's go. I've got all...
I think we've got a photo of Milton carrying his water there, Paul, that we should bring up. Milton was the water man, and
he carried Mark's water. Everybody carried something. There he
is. Is that the one there?
Milton getting his water.
Milton his water, and he took all of that up the mountain.
Yeah,
and then he was trying to sell it every day. That was Milton was the official water carrier.
I want to challenge you.
Try and sell it.
Challenge our listeners on 98.9. Jump over the Facebook page. Check this out. This is funny. You can also see it after fact. Check us out on YouTube. But yeah, there's Milton with you carried that all the way up the hill. Are you?
No.
Oh, that's right. Come on, man.
I carried 4 bottles of it at a time.
4 bottles at a time.
And that was too much. That was way too much.
Hilarious.
But,
that's hilarious. That's awesome. So
don't follow Mark in the first 100 metres.
No, don't follow Mark. Full stop.
He's guaranteed to lead you the wrong direction when we hadn't even started.
When we started, we hadn't even got to the path, and they were lost.
And he led the way.
Mark, I forgot about that.
Kilometers. We did a few extra kilometers that day.
I forgot that you got lost on the way there to the path.
Yeah.
On a straight road, Paul. On a straight road. You can't make it up.
How'd you get lost, man? Must have been a stick.
On concrete at that stage.
Was it? Obviously, Mark, was he making phone calls? Or was he setting up meetings? Or
I don't know what he was doing.
Well, actually, Warren and I weren't on the phone that much, were we? Because there was no reception while we were away.
I turned my phone off for 4 days. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the best thing about going. Yeah.
I think I know what was distracting Mark at that time. I'll just bring it up here for a minute.
Oh, yes, they were.
Tell you what.
Breakfast beignet. Breakfast beignet, they are.
Actually, I'll tell you what, we should make a comment about the food on this trip. It was quite
Egan's
incredible.
kitchen.
I mean, Milton's
Egan's
still drinking water. I mean, he can't stop drinking even on air, but
No, 'cause he's still got 24 bottles left.
yeah, he's still drinking all that water. But the food was pretty good, wasn't it, Brad?
That barramundi was absolutely magnificent.
Oh, how good was that barramundi? Yeah, amazing.
That camp kitchen was one of the best camp kitchens that I've ever eaten at. It was sensational. There was plenty of it, plenty of variety, and it was all good gear.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Brad, you've got to give us what's your number one thing not to do on a Larapinta trip?
Well, I bought a set of poles or sticks to take on the trek. I'd spoken to some hiking friends, and they said, "Look, you're gonna need." And I told them where we were going, and they sort of looked at me and said, "Shit, you're not going to make this." And so I took their advice, and I went and bought some poles, some sticks. Anyway, I put them in my.
I have to go on mute because I'm going to laugh too hard.
And there were 11 of us start on the trip, and had Warren not have mentioned to me that the sticks were probably hindering certain people, we may have finished the trek with just Mark and myself, because every time I'd turn around,
he literally tried to skewer everyone on the thing. It was hilarious. He had no concept of where these bloody sticks were. You and Richard between you, and Richard had his lengthways. So every time he turned round, he was twice the width that he thought he was, and we're on a trail this wide on top of a mountain. It's not the best option.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go trekking and take sticks, make sure you use them and not make sure you know how to use them.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned the weight yet, Paul. Ask Mark and Milton about how much stuff they carted up the mountain compared to some slightly smarter people who took a bit less.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because going by the itinerary, I thought, all right, I've never trekked before, so we'll listen. So I took up 3.5 litres of water, packed. I wore every day. I wore at least 3 layers, and then I had my wet weather gear in my backpack as well, along with my medication, my sunscreens, all my nibblies and lollies, gloves, you name it. I had it in my backpack. Anyway, the first day I rock up and see this backpack, and I look over and I look at Warren, and it's like he's got an overgrown wallet on his back. And I'm like, what the going on here?
I wore my winter shorts. What else did I need?
That's it. That's all he had. It was amazing. So I actually took an extra person up with me. That's how I felt.
It looked like it. Yeah. Mark did a good job, though. He basically on the second day, he worked it out, followed my path. So he had a small little hiking pack like mine, and gave everything else to everybody else to carry on his behalf.
Very smart.
Distributed his weight around the group.
That's right. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. The key. Bring a small pack, and then you don't have to carry much. But yes. Janine's right. She's made a good comment here. We did have an amazing time, and I think also Emily. It's great to have you here, Emily. The king of the camp food, 5 stars. I think it could have been 6 stars of food. Because I liked the barbecue on the first night. Certainly the barramundi on the second night was great.
That was.
But also the breakfast. When we got back from the mountain, I could hardly walk from the bus to the camp. But once I got there, the breakfast was incredible. And if Milton makes a positive comment about the food, you know the food's good. So what do you think about the food, Milton?
It was sensational. It was better than I've ever had. I think Brad said it was about amongst the best he's had. I think it was the best he's had. Yeah, I haven't had anything like it on a camp. It was good.
Well, you've worked hard though, so you've had a big day, and then you come back for the feed, which is I'm sure will be equally.
Didn't lose any weight, Paul.
And Paul Tanya's made a good comment as well. Brad is sort of like our reporter in action. He's our reporter on the trip, and he was doing videos, and he was sort of like a commentator, a TV commentator the whole time. So well done, Brad, on your videos, mate. They were great. And it was really good. The Tumut ladies were part of the highlight of the whole trip, don't you think, Warren?
I agree. They were inappropriate in all the right ways. It was brilliant. Yeah. They kept us laughing. Kerry and her magic hands and lingerie was the highlight of the trip, really, let's be honest.
Okay, here you go. Tell tales, adventures.
Have we got any other photos there, Paul?
I've sent you a few, Paul. I sent you a picture of Mark's tent, actually.
Let's have a look at Mark.
Mark's tent was pretty spectacular, that's for sure.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the camping was good. The camping was good. Even had showers and toilets.
I sent you a picture of the shower too. Yep, I didn't take any. No one took photos of the toilets, funnily enough. I don't know how we managed that.
It was really good. But it was a decent old walk, and the scenery was amazing. Not that you could really watch the scenery because you'd trip over a rock if you took your eyes off the path.
That
true. Was part of it, wasn't it, Warren?
I don't know. I was too busy watching where you were falling over, to be honest.
And if you were walking behind Paul, it was like Saturday Night Fever at the disco.
I said that. You missed that. I already said that was great. That was one of my tips for the 7 things not to do was follow Paul on a mountain.
Yeah, it was amazing. I don't know how he stayed upright, to be honest, but he got the job done.
Well, apart from when he fell over on top of the mountain, that was it.
Let's have a quick look at these photos here. Who we got here, Warren?
It's Rachel.
Rachel's. So we got to the top of Mount Son. It was her birthday. One of the Tumut crew, and it was her birthday. And happy birthday, Rachel! And the guides are amazing. So they got that cake in one piece to the top of the mountain.
That's phenomenal. Wow.
Amazing, just amazing.
With candles.
Amazing. Yeah, with candles.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
and Emily's wished Rachel a happy birthday too. Good old Emily.
Let's have a look at this one. Right? Now, what's this here? What's going on here?
This is what the beds look like. It was very 5-star. Very nice it was. Please. Yeah. That's what Emily's tent looked like. No one else's tent looked anything like that. Everybody else looked like an explosion had occurred. That's the outdoor shower area.
Nice.
Very
Mark,
nice.
you like that? Did you like the outdoor showers?
The showers.
Mate, to be honest, I couldn't walk that far to the showers because I was dead. So I just had to conserve my energy. But yeah, so
classic.
Mark spent most of his time in the first aid tent when he got back to camp.
I was trying to find that photo of him in the first aid tent actually, but I can't find it.
Oh, first aid tent. What happened? Oh gosh, classic.
We got a couple more comments. Go to Mark's rant, Paul.
Mark's
rant.
Mark's got a rant. Oh, this is going to be about me. I've been gearing up for this.
No, that's it's just a little rant that.
All right, give us 2 seconds. We'll bring that together.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I think it's here.
Good to see you, boys.
Let's have a look at this.
Well, just a quick little rant today because I think some things in life are very unfair and I don't know why it happened to me, but I reckon I got more blisters than I deserved. And I'm really upset about blisters. I don't know why they come to me and not other people, but I got my fair share of blisters. I had about 20 or 30 blisters on my feet. I really was in the blister room of the whole time. Every night after my walk, I'd be getting taped up feet. Both feet were taped up and still the blisters would come. I'd get more the next day and more the next day. And so I think blisters are unfair and I'm protesting against blisters.
That's when we talked about the lack of training before we went, Paul, and perhaps breaking the shoes in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like there may be a reason why. Have a look at the photograph I've just sent you of how Mr. Blister recovered from the blisters.
Okay, let's have a look.
I feel like everyone needs to have a look at that one. That's a special one.
All right. Give me a second.
I will give you a second.
Come on. Okay.
Come on, you got to share it.
Give me a sec. Let me bring it up. Paul, Marketing Tech Guy, and we're going to check out Marcus's new look. I love it. It's gold. Hold Hold on a second.
Oh, I've
Here we
seen
go.
this
Now look at
photo.
this.
Oh, you've seen this photo.
Oh yeah, I have too. I couldn't even wear shoes. And I
How
don't
can you
know whether
walk
to
up
read
the
what's
mountain
on.
in them? But he did it.
He
Yeah,
did it in
I-
those.
I-
In those.
Read the
I reckon it
slippers.
was harder to walk in those than it was in his boots, to be honest.
Yeah,
There you
well,
go, Mrs. P. Your shoes are
yeah.
famous. There you go.
Mrs. P was amazing because I actually forgot my thongs. I couldn't wear my shoes because my
Have
feet
you still
were so
got her
sore.
thongs?
And she donated. Actually, Mrs. Peacock donated her
them.
thongs to me, which was
She
very
did not
good of
want
her.
her feet anywhere near those thongs after you'd worn them.
Not
in your
after that,
blistered-
no.
In your
No, I don't
blistered,
blame her.
bloodied state, it wasn't happening.
Jeez.
There
What's
he
going
is,
on
leader
here,
of the
Ron?
pack.
Leader of the pack. Beautiful.
Leader
Yeah.
of the pack, trying to get up that
Nice.
mountain.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
It
wonderful.
all looks
stuff.
good from here. See how happy and smiley we are? It's because we haven't gone up that giant bloody mountain behind us yet.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, that's
absolutely.
We always look
fantastic.
good on the bottom of the mountains. It was the top of the mountains where we don't look so happy.
Yeah. Oh, you've done it hard, guys. Absolutely amazing effort, I must say.
We
And,
were definitely the king of the mountain, though, that's for sure. And the queens.
that's for sure.
Sorry, the kings
Yes,
and the
yes,
queens of the mountain.
We were.
Well, Ammo makes a good comment here. A lot of people didn't think I was going to survive, but I did survive. And
well done, Ammo.
well done. Yes. No, I think we all felt pretty good, didn't we, Warren? Once we got down that mountain,
Mate,
we felt good.
I take my hat off. I eat the humble pie. I apologize. I doubted you. You were the person in literally the most pain every day. And every day you were the first one up, the first one dressed, and the first one ready to go. And I doff my hat to you. It was an amazing effort. Milton, I still don't know how you got up that mountain. I got no idea how you got up that mountain. It's a bloody miracle. But Mark, every single day with the pain you must have been in with those feet, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, we got
Credit
there.
to both of you. It was amazing.
We had
watch.
we had to follow you, didn't we? We didn't have a choice when you kept
We
bloody
did
rocking up
That's
like
right.
that.
If they were going to do it, we had to.
We had to do it.
There was no backing out. It was
Nah.
like bang.
Well, I have to bring it up because it was part of the trip. Is that I did see a different side of Brad after the walk, and his team killed my team. So even though I walked the Larapinta, the Bombers couldn't even beat the Saints. Brad, that was no good.
Unreal.
It was a good finish, wasn't it, to the trek?
It was a great, yeah.
It was entertaining, and the result was good. So we'll leave it at that.
Are
Well,
we
we've got a
still
couple of
talking about the
questions.
footy,
Think
or are
there's-
we talking about Bojangles?
It happens.
It was a big
Really?
night the last night.
Be worried
We
about-
had-
Just talk about the
we had
footy.
great food.
But no, look, there was a little bit of tinsel thrown around one late evening there towards the end of the trek, and I believe the dance floor did light up at Bojangles, and but I do believe we may not be invited back. But that's okay.
I don't think we'll be invited back. We have to go
Is that
somewhere
right?
else next year.
Oh, gee. No wonder you're picking a new spot. Oh,
That's it.
Okay.
Well,
Now
Paul, we've
I
got
get
a
it.
couple of quick questions from a couple of people.
We do indeed. So we've got.
Tanya wants to know how cold it got. How cold did it get, Milton?
I think it got down to -2 at one stage, didn't it?
Yeah, that last morning
Was
was
it right,
cold.
guys?
Yeah.
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 Bloody freezing.
We were very lucky. The big mountain, it was the warmest day they've had going up the big mountain for about 10 weeks. We were really lucky, but we got it in the neck the next morning because it was bloody freezing the next morning.
Unbelievable.
And the wildlife, we actually saw a live goanna on the path. We
Photo of the
videoed
goanna.
that, so that was good. You guys see any other animals?
Any
Well, I thought we
snakes
saw
or-
a giraffe, but then I realised it was Paul.
We had the bowerbird guys. We,
Plenty
what
of
was that,
Plenty of bird life.
There was lots of birds.
Lots
The
of
bowerbirds were pretty impressive.
Okay, no snakes. Do they have scorpions out there, or sort of spiders, or anything like that?
No, there
No.
were no.
Nothing like that. Well, obviously they were hiding.
We did go.
No new
We did go
markers
for
yet.
a dip though at Ormiston Gorge. That was quite chilly.
That was
Okay.
Very invigorating.
yeah.
That would have been nice.
Oh, I sent you a photo
I
of
guess
that
they-
too.
they-
There's a photo of us swimming in the gorge, Paul. If you can find it.
okay, let's
Somewhere.
And there was no
Don't worry.
redbacks. Ammo reckons asked about the redbacks. There's no spiders, which was fantastic, and no snakes that you thought then we might find. So that was good.
No, the goanna was the biggest thing. I mean, it was a big bloody goanna, but it was the biggest thing we found.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Tanya's asked a question about other trackers, and there was a fair few people on the path. We saw a few trackers, pretty popular, isn't it?
No, lots of people overtook us on a regular basis, Tanya. That's
Isn't that
mostly
right?
what
That's
happened.
amazing.
We were very, very, very adept at standing out of the way and letting people come past. And when the psycho runners came through, that was next level.
Psycho runner.
I think we were called the diesel engine of the mountain. We kept
were
keeping
slow
over.
and steady.
Keeping over.
Got the job done, Bradley.
Yeah.
You're accurate. You're disciplined. You're understanding.
No,
You're
we were not accurate.
empathizing. You're accurate.
We were not
And
accurate.
when the V8s came through, we just pulled over into pit lane.
Yeah,
We followed Mark blindly down an alley to the edge of a cliff at one point because he'd somehow managed to lose the guide. And it was in the dark. And when we came back down in the light, we realised just how close to the cliff we were. And he,
That's
and of
great.
course, he chose the biggest mountain going to be where he wanted to decide go off the edge of the cliff. So no, it was good. We love him.
Yeah.
We love him.
And we did miss our phone reception a bit, but it was peaceful, and I had a lot to focus on when I was walking because I just had to get that foot one in front of the other.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think Warren missed his phone reception. I think he enjoyed the serenity of just switching off for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
and,
it was wonderful.
Yeah. It was amazing. When you got back, I saw 3,884 emails or something to respond to in 4 days.
That's what happens when you go away for 4 days,
Yeah,
Brad.
wow.
You can't do it, mate.
A big word
That's
from
why I'm
Milton.
still at work.
We didn't
Go
miss
ahead.
Mark not having his phone because he
Didn't
was
miss
on
Mark
the
having
whole
his
time.
That's
Fantastic.
right. It was amazing. You could see his face instead of this all the time, which is what
It
we're
didn't work,
so
apparently.
used to.
But it didn't work, I heard. So obviously he couldn't use his phone.
That's
No,
right.
Guys, a quick question around the room. Would you do it again? Would you like to go somewhere different and do the track? Something similar?
No, we're doing it again. We're going again.
Do it again?
Mark's
Definitely
already told
locked
us.
in. Yep. Milton,
I'd do
you're
it
in?
again. Yep.
Do it again.
Wow,
Brad?
Milton.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I think you for me, it's about thinking about the youth in our community and how we can impact them in a great way. And by doing things like this, we can continue to help the youth. And again, as I said earlier, and I'll just take my hats off to the other guys, in the room now, and also the other ladies and gentlemen who are on the trek, the other side of the coin. And as a mentor, we thank you for all you guys do, the hard work you do, in raising the funds and the money, and keeping big brother, big sister bobbling, so that we've got an opportunity to be a mentor, because that's what it's all about. As I constantly said on the trek, there's no I in team. Big brother, big sister is one big team, and we came together last weekend, and we achieved something great.
Amazing effort. $30,517 raised. I think
And we have
So far,
which
So
is
far.
and so far,
And we're
Marcus?
still going.
And
Yeah, we're still
I'd
going.
like to-
It's been great.
Fantastic.
Before we go, Mark, the other thing is we had the exceptional bunch of people who were with us. We had Richard, who sang like, well, what do you reckon, was it?
yeah, he's not bad for a Yorkshireman.
Yeah, Kerry. I'm just trying to keep count. Kerry, Susan, Kelly. No, not Kelly.
Emily.
Emily,
Rachel.
Rachel, Rob, and the four of
Yeah,
us.
don't forget Rob.
Yeah.
That's
And us
10.
four bananas.
Was there one? Was there another?
And
No, that was
Susie just made a comment, Paul, and she's already locked in for Tassie next year. So that's amazing. So well done. With the trekking, going to see us Tassie. So we're already signed up one for next year. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well done, guys.
Have you seen
Fantastic.
Hey, Paul, have a look at the accoutrement that Mark has decided to purchase in order to save himself from training next year. You might have seen a link I sent you on that.
Oh, yeah, the link. Let's have a look.
I think Warren's getting into this. We're going to have to
Warren's
finish up soon, boys, but it's been
No,
a great
we've got to do the
show.
footy at some point. Have you done the footy already?
Yeah,
No,
We
missed
brushed on it. We brushed on it very
We've got
light.
the two worst performing teams in the AFL at the moment, Mark. So that we can avoid the
Carlton
footy
and
this week.
Essendon.
Let's see if I can pull this
bottom
up.
of the forms.
Listen,
Bottom of the
I'll
forms.
try and pull this up if I can. Task.
See what you can do.
So I just want to thank all our hikers on the time. We had 11 of us on the track, and we had 3 great guides and hosts on the time. So it was a really great group. So just want to thank to Inspired Adventures for helping out and making it such a good time. Thanks for all our supporters, a lot of donors, a lot of cakes were sold at Tumut. Thank you for all the hard work people put in to raise money up at Tumut, and also all of us raising money, our friends and family, colleagues that donated. So thank you so much. There's plenty of time to donate some more. If we get more than $30,000, that'd be fantastic. But every cent helps. And we heard from Brad a bit about the power of mentoring, and we want to help more and more kids, don't we, Brad?
Absolutely. That's what it's about. It's about the youth in our community, supporting them to become the best version of themselves.
That's awesome, guys. I can't pull that up, was it? But we'll put it onto the Facebook page. But I get where you're talking. Hey, gents, well done. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's great to be back from Larapinta track. You've done it. I know you don't want to tell us full tales or what happened. It stays there. But it's a wonderful effort. And I'm sure that Big Brother...
You see all those smiles when you said that? We had a good time.
Had a good time.
Everyone has a tale.
I'll go offline and we'll talk about that. But no, great effort, and still raising money is fantastic and making a difference to young people. Mentoring young people. Milton Wild, Warren Hill, Brad Drew, Mark Watt, fantastic, great effort, and 98.9 Northwest FM. Paul, Marketing and Tech Guy will be back next week. Thank you so much. Is there anything else to say? Well, we're going to have to park it right here because we've got programs still going here on 98.9. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks,
all the
Milton.
best.
Thanks, guys. Let's do it again.
Good to see you all.
Go Saints.
Like